Okay, so I just want to make this is going to be like my quick fire video because like I said, this is turning into a finance channel. Like I just want to get on here and talk about money and really like the cost of living. But like the first thing I'll say is like the reason that I moved to Tennessee is because the cost of living is lower than in California. Like when I was in California, my rent was like $3,000 a month. Here my rent's only like $1,600 a month. That's basically like half the amount. So I can actually like go out to dinner out here. I can like buy things. I can do shit out here because I personally do not want to work in. I'm not really interested in working in corporate America, in at least not in engineering. I'm just not interested in doing that at all. And so I just wanted to find another career path. So that's why I picked being a server. I think that being a server is an excellent career path if you're a female, like especially if you're black and female. I think it's like probably the best life path that you could pick. There are people who do this as an entire career, like you can start at McDonald's and just work your way on up into like fine dining and into really whatever, and live off of tips. But even more than that, you would just learn so much about the world, which I do feel like you need to know. Not the point though. So I guess I don't know. I haven't actually seen many black YouTubers get on and talk about like Mr. Money Mustache, talk about like the FIRE community. Like I've made other videos on this channel about that. They definitely weren't the videos of like, here's how I retired early. But as a person who was once retired, like I was in retirement about 6 years ago, and I had to come out of retirement because let me give you, I guess I had kind of a couple careers. My first career, like everyone's making these videos about being a stay-at-home girlfriend. I guess I was that. And the stay-at-home part worked out really well. So sometimes you are the stay-at-home girlfriend, and like you're staying at home, okay, and the home is nice, the community is nice, all the things are nice. The problem is your partner is not the partner for you. Um, that is a fucking killjoy. Like it is so important to like first of all know yourself and also just understand your compatibility with another person. The reason that I continue to say that if you are a black woman, the pro advice I could give to you is just don't date any men of color. Mostly because their self confidence is so low. Like I'm not just saying black men, I'm saying men of color, like all of them. Anyone who has like pigmentation in their skin, there's just something socioeconomically and like globally about like whiteness where they're like so intimidated by like white men. Like if you are their partner, like you're gonna have to like hear them whine all the time. Oh, this guy said this to me. Oh, this guy said, oh, he said this. Oh, and you just start to feel like, God, you're such a bitch. Like one thing I learned about being in corporate America for a very short amount of time is if you want to know how to get ahead, just go stand next to the white dude in the room and ask him a question. He's gonna know every time. Like that's literally how I got ahead very quickly. I just stood next to the white dudes and just talked to them and be like, okay, what do I do at this step? What do I do at this step? Okay, so what do I do now? Now I would just listen and I would just go do it, and it worked every time. like, like fucking magic. So I don't know. The other thing I will say is you probably when you're partnering with someone, and I think I made another video about this, is like how to find a life partner by the Wait But Why guy. Maybe you'll listen to me read that article if you want to understand like partnership and finding a life partner. Moving on from that though, I do want to talk about the retirement for a second because I feel like a lot of people keep having questions about like what it means to have like a life plan. And like for me, I am a person who's very interested in research. I'm just very interested in like I was very interested in becoming a researcher, like pursuing a PhD, just kind of like reading academic papers, thinking about academia. Like I am just that person. So I was going to go into like reinforcement learning and do like a PhD in that, which is basically like kind of data sciencey, kind of sociology ish, kind of. Um, and so what I did is I worked for like it was like 2.5 years, something like that. But I worked really hard. I was like busting my ass. And I helped my family basically like pay off their home and like do a whole bunch of renovations to their home. And then my mom decided to sell the home and like just take the money for herself. And she was like, okay, now you have to go adult on your own. And it was such a killjoy, but it taught me a lot. It taught me that my family's money is not my money. And it doesn't actually make sense for me to invest in my family. Like that, it just doesn't make any sense for me to do that. Why? Because like I as Olivia, okay, like I have to live this life. This is my life. This is my money. Like the hours and shit that I work are me, you know, and like ugh, I have to buy my cocktails. I have to buy my dinner. I have to buy my burgers, you know? And so, yes, my mother can be in Jamaica right now having the time of her life. What the fuck does that have to do with me? Nothing. Nothing. Like, I'm not a Nepo baby. I'm like the anti Nepo baby. I truly believe in like build your own fucking table every time. Just build your table, because the one thing you will understand is like the thing about privilege, and I've made another video about privilege, which I'll put in this fucking description box. You sometimes, especially in the black community, people like to flex when they don't have shit. Like people, like I see all these like the Lottos and the Cardi B, like these bitches are really out here flexing, and it's nice that they have confidence, but they're poor. I'm sorry, but $80 million is not, like Cardi B is worth $80 million. That's just not that much money. Put this in retrospect, like Rihanna's worth $1 billion. Beyonce and Jay-Z are worth $3 billion. Taylor Swift is worth what is she worth? Like almost like $2 billion. She's like half her age. Olivia Rodrigo, like I think you know there. I think it's nice to like flex when you have stuff. All right, but like also just realize if you right now have a fucking microphone and you have lived to be however old you are, then you have a story too. And why don't you work on monetizing your story? Literally, especially if you're a black girl, because like the thing is though, if people want to keep seeing more representation of black girls who are not doing like hood shit and trap stories and all these like really strange ass stories, you have to exist in society. Like white girls have been doing it for so long. That's why you have like the influencers. You get like Emma Chamberlain. You got the others. They get to do all this shit. Like we have to support Kelly Stamps and actualize Kelly Stamps so that we can get TV shows about people like Kelly Stamps. We have to like realize Keanu Naomi so we can get TV shows about Keanu Naomi. That's the only way we're gonna get it. They're not just gonna pop out of thin air when there hasn't been any like validation of the product actually working. You have to like validate the product. This is why you have to support, like, if you want to see more black supermodels, you have to support, like, Iman Hammond or, like, Lori Harvey or Ebony Riley, like, the supermodel who turned singer. Like, you have to, like, support those people. Anyway, the point that I'm making now, though, is that, like, there's a real cost of living. And the reason that most black people fall into poverty is just because they start having more responsibilities before they can actually take care of them. And especially like black women, for some reason, seem to believe that they don't need the financial help of a partner. And then they get the financial responsibility of children without having like the income really to support it. Because like, let's say if you are making like $400,000 a year, that's a lot of money. And it might seem like, oh, well, I can just buy, you know, pay for everything for my kids to have it. Well, okay, yeah, that's true. But then your kids won't have their parents. Like, women really are the mother, the father, and the children, and that sort of like traditional household really do make a difference in a kid's life. Just having parents who are there, having parents who care, having parents who are supportive, having a mother and having a father, it just really means a lot. And so many black kids have missed out on that. And really the society in America is set up for black kids to never have that. So this is kind of a very quick video about that, about FIRE. And I'll probably talk more about FIRE on this channel, but I saw a video about a guy who retired early and I just thought I would like comment on that.